Hello. So today I'm going to expound a little bit more on differentiated instruction by Gabby Rollins. So what is differentiated instruction? According to the textbook, it is teaching strategies to learn through altering some students' tasks and modifying how they perform their tasks. So this will differentiated instruction will help promote participation, and it helps students to progress more efficiently and learn with their different styles and abilities of learning. So how do teachers differentiate instruction? They can, so these are a couple ideas that I have found, and the first one was flexible student instructional grouping. So through this, students will be grouped according to their learning styles and abilities. That way they um, can learn in a more efficient way and not maybe not be slowed down or feel like they're being rushed in whatever they're trying to learn. Learning stations or centers can give students a different type of learning that they may not get with the traditional type of instruction. So with the stations and centers, they can do like hands-on activities or listen to recordings of books or just different, maybe watching videos or I don't know, something that's not the traditional approach to it, I guess. Um, the two educators in the classroom can help the students if they have questions and there's only one in the classroom. The two will be able to help the students better, I guess, and um, they'll get more attention and be able to move on with what they're trying to work on. Um, so when an oral presentation is being given, it's important to provide students with visuals or models that they can look at, or yeah, just to look at, I guess. And with those, they can have something to actually like focus on rather than just trying to listen to somebody talking to them. And with like with a worksheet or a model of something, like I said, it will be able to, they can hone in on that along with the oral presentation, I guess. Um, Interactive games can be beneficial to students because they can, if they're interactive games online, they can move at their own pace, and it's automatically, what did I write down here? It's they get immediate feedback from it. So that way they're not having to wait on the teacher to give them the next step or yeah, what they need to do next. So they can move at their own pace, and it helps individualize their learning styles a little bit more. So teacher preparation for differentiated instruction. Frequent assessments and evaluation are necessary. With the assessments, the teachers are able to track how well their students are doing and how well they're grasping what is being taught. With the assessments, they can gauge like how far, if they need to be a multi, or if they need to be a tier 1 or tier 2 or tier 3 student. With the assessments, they can judge where they need to be placed. The evaluation can also do that, but it's not so much as the students having to take tests in order for the teachers to determine that. So modifying activities and assignments for struggling, average, and gifted students. Activities and assignments can be changed in order for all the students, whether they are they're struggling with what they're learning, or they just get it, or if they're super far ahead of everybody. When the activities and assignments are changed based on their learning style, it can they can learn better, I guess, and more efficiently. So developing an understanding with students. I wrote a couple things down here. So making sure that all students are understanding what is being taught, and finding out the ways that their students learn the best. If they learn through hands-on activities, if they learn better with auditory activities, or if they learn better with visualizing what is going on. So, and then determining how their success is measured, I guess. So that would tie back into with like this assessments and evaluation to determine how well they're learning what is being taught. The next one is parent and school collaboration. So just making sure that the parents are involved in their children's lives is very significant. And since the parents aren't there at school with them, the teachers should either give the parents like a maybe a monthly newsletter, or just writing them a note throughout the week, letting them know this is what we're going to be doing, and just making sure that they're involved throughout it all. Well, as much as the parents want to be involved. This can also be done through parent-teacher conferences, which aren't held, I guess, as often as maybe a newsletter may be sent out. But just making sure that the parents are involved is very important. The last one, classroom organization and management. Super, super important. So just making sure that the classroom is organized well, and making sure that it's not too cluttered. That way the students are not getting distracted by the pictures on the wall, or the materials that are laying out, or whatever the case may be. Making sure that there is structure in the classroom so that they aren't getting distracted. And then the classroom management, that goes back to classroom organization and how well you manage behavior in the classroom, and how well you manage just the classroom as a whole, I guess, and making sure those are all in check. That way the students can learn to the best of their abilities. In the classroom, so initially the core instruction is what is taught, and then second are the small groups, and then the different learning activities that come after the initial instruction. The small groups and different learning activities will help the students, will be able to modify the teaching in order for them to learn it the best they can. And then making sure that all students are supported through their teaching and learning, or through their learning, whether they're struggling or average or advanced students. The struggling students are probably going to get more attention just because they do struggle more than the other students do, which is understandable, but the average and advanced students still need that help in order to learn the best they can. And lastly, the common classroom practices. These were the ones that were just stated in the assignment. Delivering instruction primarily by lecturing. This may not be the best way to teach if students can get very distracted through just trying to listen to a lecture. If there is a lecture initially, there needs to be some like group activity or something provided afterwards. That way the students can better understand what they were taught. Grouping students together at the beginning of the year based on the previous year's achievement test scores. That's not very safe because those test scores, over the summer, they can either lose the what they learned the last year, or they may have advanced because they got tutoring or whatever the case may be. But if we just assume that this is what they have, this is the test score we have from last year, and we're just going to put them together with the same group this year because they haven't progressed or decreased anymore, is kind of not the best way to go about it. So giving bonus points for classroom participation. I had an extra bonus in there. That is, as I've had some teachers do that with the classes that I've been in, but it does not help the student learn. They just do it. They just show up and they're like, oh, well, I get the points, so I'm here, and that's all that matters. No, you have to learn, and you have to succeed in the assignments or tests that you were giving. So the bonus points for participation is not a good way to go about handing out points to students. So I think that is all I have, and thank you for listening.